were downstairs and he said he had to go to the bathroom, and I find him on the floor with an extension cord wrapped around his neck saying he wanted to kill himself. Hi you guys, welcome back to another video of mine. For those of you guys that don't know me and this is your first time watching me, welcome to Honey Stories. Today I'm going to be talking about my ex-boyfriend Robert, and this is basically part 2 of the abusive relationship video that I posted last week. And I was going to do 3 parts, but I just want to finish it with this video. This video might be a little longer than the last video, just letting you know, because I'm gonna be talking about everything that went down between me and this dude, like throughout the whole 2.5 years that we were together. So I left off last video where I was talking about his family and how, you know, I loved his family, I just didn't like him. So today I'm going to be talking about exactly what went down and how abusive things got. I know my relationship wasn't as bad as a lot of other relationships that were abusive, but this is just my story and this is my abusive relationship, you know. And it took a while for me to even talk about it. A lot of people would ask me and I would shut everybody down, and I wouldn't tell them everything. I would just tell them like the little, you know, just cut it short, and like, because I didn't want them to know everything, because most of why I don't like telling this story to everybody is because I didn't want to feel judged, or I was mostly embarrassed by the whole situation, and that's it. Basically it was just I felt embarrassed because I'm such a strong person that like right now I don't take shit from nobody, and they're just like, people that, you know, watch my video, they're like, what, like I wouldn't have expected that, like you never, you know, said anything. And it's crazy. But thank you guys for showing me mad love for the first video. I appreciate you guys very, very, very much. It means a lot to me. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys one out of the many things that went down while I was with Robert's dumbass. So for one, I had to pay for everything. He never had money. I was the one to pay for every single thing. Till this day he swears that he was the one that paid for everything and I was a cheap ass, and like that was not the fucking case at all. I paid for every single motherfucking thing. If he wanted food, I paid for it. Whatever the fuck it was, I paid for it, you feel me? So one day we decided to go to Subway, walking of course, and we were in the line, and I told him that I didn't want Subway, I wanted something else. So he's like, well, what the fuck do you want? We're already here. And you know, we went walking, so he didn't want to walk anywhere else. And I was like, it's cool, like I'll just go down the street, because there's like, I think, a Mexican spot. I forgot what the fuck I wanted, but point is that I didn't want Subway and he did. So he got really, really upset, and he didn't want to eat Subway alone. So he pulled me over to the side to talk to me, I guess to try to convince me to get Subway. But I was like not going, because the people that know me is that back then I couldn't stand Subway, I couldn't stand Jimmy John's. Now Subway's like decent or whatever, but Jimmy John's, no. So yeah, back then I didn't like Subway at all, and that's why I didn't want Subway. So he made a big deal about it, and then he started arguing with me, and then I was like, no, it's okay. I'm like, I'll just get Subway, it's cool. And so he pulled me off to the side to argue with me about getting Subway. So I was like, it's cool, like, you know, I'll eat Subway, whatever. I was just gonna like eat it forcefully because I didn't like Subway. So he had the money to pay. He had my money to pay. And he got all mad and he's like, you know what, he's like, take your fucking money, and he threw it at my face. Like, he legit like grabbed the money and threw it at my face in front of everybody. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, on top of me paying for your food, and like, it wasn't a big deal. I just didn't want Subway. Like, I don't know why he made it into a big deal. I felt so disrespected and like embarrassed, and I just like literally like a tear went down my face, and I walked out. And then I was like, I didn't even pick up the money, I left it there, and I walked out. And he went after me, trying to talk to me like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have did that. Like, he would always do shit to me and then apologize for it. Like, dude, like, your apology is shit to me because you're just gonna do it over and over again. Like, if you apologize to somebody, that means you're not gonna fucking do it, that you understand what you did wrong and that you're not gonna do it again, right? But wrong in his case, because he would always do shit after he apologized. But me being an idiot and young, I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's fine, whatever. So that was one situation that that just made it like, so I don't know what kind of abuse that is, but I know it's something like in those lines, because I know damn well, like, now if a motherfucker was to throw money at my face, I would not be with her. Like, that's just so disrespectful and rude, and no, fuck that. Other things that that he would do and nobody else in my house knew about it, knew what was going on, but he came over a lot, and we would just sit in the living room and watch TV. We weren't allowed to be in my room because we were both really, really young. So we would be downstairs watching movies and TV, whatever the fuck. And so like, when we would watch movies, my parents would be sitting next to us, or my sisters, or what, you know, whoever. And he would grab my phone and then of course look through my phone, and he would get mad at like the stupid little things that I spoke about in my first video. And so since people were there, you know, obviously he wasn't able to tell me anything, so he would try to like get my attention. He would like push me like, oh, look, what the fuck is this, you know, like to show me the phone. And I'll be like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, are you kidding me? And then I'll just keep watching TV because it wasn't a big deal to me, like I didn't do anything. So this motherfucker would pinch me. He would like grab my like stomach. He would pinch my stomach like really hard. He'll just like squeeze it like and twist it, like twisting my fucking stomach and shit. And then like I would just sit there and I would be like, ah, like, you know, stop. Like I would tell him like stop, and then I'll push him, but trying to be like low key and shit because my family was next to me. So like I would be like, stop, you know, like, but like low key. And he would just keep like pinching me and like he would pinch my arms and like everything. So like he would leave me like little bruises and shit, and like, oh my god, he would do that shit every single time we would sit down there with my family. And like, I know my family's watching this video like, damn, like we didn't know all that, but yeah, that's what he would fucking do. And it just, I don't know, it just hurts so bad. Like he would literally grab a whole chunk of my stomach and twist the fuck out of it. Another situation I was in with him, it's so many, you guys. Like I'm just gonna tell you guys like the main things that mostly affected me throughout the whole relationship. But another thing was that he would have me sneak out at night when everyone was asleep. I would sneak out, and nobody knows this, and I'm sorry mom, but I would sneak out sometimes to go be with him. And it sucks because like I was so fucking in love with this guy. Like fuck man, like oh my god, like looking back at it, oh I feel so dumb. But anyways, so I would sneak out and he would have me walk, you guys. He would have me walk. Those of you that are in Chicago know where like Fullerton is. Well, he would have me walk from Fullerton all the way to Belmont type shit, like in the night by myself, little old me walking in the middle of the night. And so I would do this. I didn't sneak out a lot. It was probably like a handful of times that I snuck out. The other times, there was more times that he wanted me to leave and go be with him, and I would say no, right? And you know, I just told them, you know, I don't feel comfortable sneaking out anymore. I don't want to do it, like, you know, shit like that. Like I felt bad, like, you know, sneaking out and my parents didn't know. And then, you know, I was walking by myself in the dark and he couldn't even meet me halfway with his lazy ass. But when I would say no, you guys, oh my god, he would like do the most. He would call me and like just start crying. Like that's another thing, he would always cry all the time. So it got to a point where like I didn't even care if he was crying, you guys, because he cried so much. This motherfucker would cry and I just felt like his tears were garbage, like they didn't mean anything. So he would cry and cry on the phone like, please stay over my house, I need you, I'm so depressed, I love you, can you just come over, da da da. And I'm just like on the phone like, oh my god, like I can't, like I can't. And it got to the point where he would beg me on the phone so much that I would just hang up, because I just couldn't, like I didn't know what the fuck to tell him like anymore. Like I would just be like, no, I'm sorry, no. And so like there was one time where I called my mom in the night, and I was just like, hey, like he wants me to go to his house right now and he's crying, he's talking about killing himself, because he would like, you know, tell me like, oh, if you don't come over I'm gonna kill myself, blah blah blah. And like, man, like I kind of believed it because he was kind of crazy, you know. So that's why I called my mom. I'm like, mom, you know, he's asking me to go to his house, but I don't want to. Like he's saying he's gonna kill himself, he doesn't stop crying or calling me, like what do I do? And she just told me like, don't do nothing. Like he's just telling you that because he really wants you to go over. He's not really gonna kill himself, like, you know, he'll get over it. So that's how it was every single time I would say no. And then after a little while he just got tired of asking me. So that was another thing that happened that I just, I don't know, like I got so, like it affected me a lot. It affected me a lot, like having somebody to tell you they're gonna kill themselves because you don't want to go over to their house. Like how does that even sound? But anyways, and I kind of believed it because like I said, he was a little crazy or whatever. Going to that topic about killing themselves, there was another time where we were downstairs and like he was like going through my phone again, like usual. He went through my phone every fucking second of the day. And so like he went through my phone and then he just went through it, put it down, and he's like, I'll be back, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And my bathroom is upstairs where my room is. And so I was like, okay. And then so like some time passed already and I was like, where is this dude? And mind you, everyone is home, you feel me? Like everyone's in the house, home. And so like he's taking a while, so I, you know, go upstairs to check up on him. Nobody's in the bathroom, and I'm like, where the fuck did he go? And so I go to my room, and you guys will never believe what the fuck I walk into. So it's not funny at all, but I found him on the floor with an extension cord wrapped around his neck, and he's like choking himself with the extension cord in my room on the floor. And you guys, like, I'm little as hell, so I was like, you know, me now, I'm like, how the fuck are you gonna kill yourself choking? Like, that doesn't make no sense now. But when I back then, you know, I was young and I was like, oh my god, like, he's gonna kill himself. And so you know, this is not funny. It wasn't funny at the time. I mean, looking back at it, it's kind of funny now, but back then it was not funny at all. Like, I got on my knees and I'm like, stop, you know, I'm like trying to take away the extension cord from his neck. And he's like, no, and he's crying and he's like, I love you, I just want to kill myself. Like, out of the blue, you guys. Like, we were downstairs and he said he had to go to the bathroom, and I find him on the floor with an extension cord wrapped around his neck, saying he wanted to kill himself on the floor. The extension cord was not like hung on something or nothing. It was just like a loose extension cord wrapped around his neck, which makes no sense now. So I don't know how I got out of that situation, but I was just like telling him all these nice things. I was like, I love you too, da, 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 da. You know, I was like pouring my heart out and shit, so he wouldn't fucking kill himself with the extension cord that was like loose. So he finally unwrapped the extension cord from his neck, and he was on his knees and crying to me, of course, and he was just like, oh, you don't love me, like, when I cry you don't even care anymore. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, you cry all the fucking time for no reason. Like, I was telling him straight up that day, I was like, you cry for no reason, and like, a person gets tired of it. That's like the boy who cried wolf or whatever. Like, if you cry one time, 2 times, you know, 3, like, he cried like a lot. He was just crying and crying and crying. And then finally I talked him down, and I was like, hey, let's just, you know, go back downstairs, watch TV, like, you're okay, like, I love you, da da da. So we go back downstairs, and then, you know, whatever. So there's that situation that I dealt with, and that affected me. Going into another situation that affected me, so this out of all the things, well, there is one more thing that I'm gonna tell you guys, well, 2 actually, but this is one of the 2 things that affected me the most. And like, I don't know, it still hurts me this day, because, like, you know, you just had to be there, you know, to like witness everything. But okay, I'm gonna talk about it. It was me, him, and my little sister. I don't know if you guys seen her in the Six Flags video. She was smaller, you know, she was a little annoying little kid. She was an annoying little kid. She was like, I don't know how old she was, but she was very young. And she just wanted attention all the time. So she would like try to talk to him, and like he would always ignore her. And like, I just didn't like that, because, you know, me being with somebody, I wanted them to be like a family person. I wanted them to get along with my family. I didn't want them to treat my family bad or anything. So I would always stick up for my family. Like, he could do whatever the fuck he wanted to me, but with my family, like, that shit got me all the way fucked up. So we were sitting in the living room watching TV, and my sister was trying to talk to him. She's like, hey, Robert, you know, like asking him questions or whatever. And he was ignoring her. So I was like, hey, like, you know, pay attention to her. And I went like that, and I was like, hey, like, pay attention to her. Like, why are you ignoring her? And mind you, I was sitting like in between them or whatever. Like, I have 2 couches, and like, you know, the things where you put your arms on, like, I was sitting on that thing. And so then I guess he got mad because I like pushed him a little bit. And so yeah, so what he decides to do is elbow me in my stomach very fucking hard in front of my little sister. Like, literally with all his force, he fucking elbowed the fuck out of me. And so basically I lost my air. Like, I was like stuck. I was like, you know, and shit. and I couldn't say anything, and I was stuck like that for a while. It felt like forever, and my little sister's just looking at me, and she thought I was dying. Like, fuck. Let me not cry, because now I'm gonna ruin my makeup. But but yeah, so like so yeah, she was just looking at me, you know, she's a little ass girl, so she was like, you know, Tanya, and then like I was just stuck, and then I was like falling over and shit. Like I didn't, like, nobody's ever knocked the wind out of me, so like I thought I was dying, you guys. So so I was like, you know, and then finally when I took a breath, like a deep breath, I grabbed my little sister and I took her to the room. I was like, look, I'm like, look, Nikki, I'm like, just stay here, and I'm okay, because she was mainly worried about me, you know, and I was just telling her like, I'm okay. And so I went back to the living room and I yelled at him. I was like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, are you fucking serious? And you know, by this time I was growing balls already, you know, so I was like, you need to fucking go. I'm like, that was not fucking cool. I'm like, all I did was push you a little bit to talk to her, you know, to stop ignoring her. And he's just like, and then he wants to apologize again, you guys. Like, fuck, he's over here apologizing, like, no, I'm not gonna go, I want to stay with you here, like, you know, I don't want to go, I'm sorry. And so like literally I could never get this dude out of my house. Like, he would always be there. Like, even if I didn't want him there, like, I would just be walking around doing my own thing, and he would just be sitting there in the living room like a fucking weirdo, because I would pay no attention to him. So I don't even know why the fuck he was there. Ain't nobody want him in here in the house. And yeah, so he would just be sitting there like a fucking weirdo. But that situation is what gets to me the most, because, you know, my little sister had to fucking see that, and it was not cool. It was fucked up, you know. And then he was a cheater, you guys. He would cheat on me, you feel me? And it's like a person, I feel like a person that always like thinks you're cheating, or always accusing you of you cheating, then they're the motherfuckers that are cheating, you feel me? Like, I feel like 99% of the time that's how it fucking is. Like, if you're insecure, if you're tripping about the next nigga, like you're fucking cheating, you feel me? Because if a girl's with you, if a guy's with you, it's obviously for a reason. Is because, you know, they love you, they want to be with you, you know. So that's how I felt with me. I was like, I'm with your dumb ass for a reason, you feel me? But he was a cheater. And yeah, so I had a best friend, and me and her, we were cool as fuck, you guys. Like literally every morning before school, I would go to her house, help her with the homework or whatever, because she lived literally right there by the school. So so yeah, we were like this, like we were so close. And so like this one day he tells me, oh, I'm gonna go play basketball. Or I forgot if he was gonna play basketball or he was gonna go to the gym. One of those two, it doesn't matter. Point is, I don't know how, like, my fucking senses were tingling, and like I just had a feeling he was up to no good. So you know, I'm questioning him, you know, after he gets back from playing basketball or going to the gym or whatever. I'm like questioning him, like, oh, who was there, da da da. And so basically he was with my best friend, her boyfriend, and another girl. And I was like, what the fuck? I already didn't like this girl, because I knew he had like a little thing for her, like he liked her or whatever, because of like Facebook. He would like her pictures and all that shit. So I already knew he had a thing for her, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, why were you guys all together? And I ended up finding this out through my best friend at the time. And like, but the way she said it, it was just so like, oh, we were just all chilling, you know, like it was not a big deal. And so I was like, that looks goofy as fuck. Like, so he's with a girl and you're with your boyfriend? Like, that sounds goofy. So I ended up getting it out of her. So basically them two, they wanted to chill with him. And so my best friend decided to call up that girl and set them two together. And I was just so hurt. I was just like, wow, why would you do that shit? Like what the fuck were you thinking? Like, you're not my friend, like you're a bitch, like why the fuck? And then she's like, oh, and they kissed too. And like, after she said that, y'all, I went off on this bitch, like for real. Like she's so petty, like to do that shit to me. And like, I thought we were really cool, you feel me? But that was not the case. So even with him cheating, like I was still there, you guys. I was still fucking there, like a dummy. After him being abusive towards me physically and verbally, he was a cheater as well. And usually they all come in that package, you know. If they're abusive, they're cheaters as well. That's how it usually is. So now I'm gonna tell you guys the final thing that, you know, really affected me throughout everything. So there was this one day, mind you, it was softball season at my school. I was in high school already. I was a freshman, so I would do softball. And there was one day where I skipped softball practice and I went to his house. While I was at his house, you know, it was fine, everything was cool. And then so I decided to go to the bathroom. And at that time, I don't know why he didn't have a lock on his bathroom door, but he didn't have a lock on his bathroom door. So I went in there and I just closed it, because obviously if it's closed, someone's in there, right? So I closed it, and I guess he saw me go in there. So while I was about to, you know, sit on the toilet, like I had my pants like halfway down my ass, he decides to push it open. And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? And he has brothers. So I'm like, dude, I get back up, I pull my pants back up and I walk out, and I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm like, I'm trying to go to the bathroom, your brothers are home, like stop. So I go back in the bathroom, I close the door, and then he does it again. So I'm like, oh my god. So I close it again, try to use the bathroom again, he does it again. Bro, I was like up to here. So I went outside or whatever. I got in his face and I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm trying to use the bathroom, stop fucking opening the door. And so so I go back inside to try to use the bathroom, or no, so I'm walking towards the door to use the bathroom, and he's just standing there shook because I yelled at him, right? And so at the corner of my eye, I see him coming up to me like fast as fuck, like running up to me fast as fuck. And he just literally like pops me in my fucking face, like right here. Like, y'all, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, whoa. Like, he literally like punched me so hard, like my face went like to the side and shit. And so like I looked at him and I just started crying. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it hurt so bad. Like, I was just crying and crying and crying and crying. And I was like, why the fuck would you hit me like that? Y'all, your family's here. And you know, because he would always like hit me in my face, but like he'll slap me or whatever, not with full force, but he would slap me, you feel me? Like, it wasn't no like little tap, like he would like really like slap me, but not with full force, if that makes sense. So like him punching me in my face, like it literally felt like full force. And like, of course, he fucking picks me up, right? He picks me up and I'm like this, like, so I'm like laid across his fucking arms. And I'm just crying and I'm like hitting his chest. I'm like, put me down, like, you know, leave me the fuck alone, I'm going home. And he's like, no, no, no. And he had me like this, right? He like, I wasn't going nowhere. So his room was upstairs, and so like he opens the door to go to his room, and his mom walks past him carrying me and me crying and shit, and she's just like, oh my god, Tanya, are you okay? Are you okay? but yet she didn't do anything to go save me when he fucking takes me to his room. So I was just like, what the fuck? I was telling her, no, I'm not okay, I want to leave, and she's just like there, like she didn't even know what to do. And I feel like sometimes she would even be scared of him, you guys, because literally, like, he would call her a bitch, he would be so mean to her. But so I feel like that's why she didn't really step up and, like, you know, defend me. So I'm not really holding that against her. I mean, I understand he does have fucking issues, and you know, she was really nice to me. But so point is that he took me upstairs, and he held me hostage in his room. Like, I was trying to leave, he didn't let me leave. He locked the doors. Like, every single time I would get up to go run for the door, he would knock me back down. And he's like, no, I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that, I don't know why, I'm sorry, like, you yelled at me. And so, like, he kind of made it seem like it was my fault. I knew it wasn't my fault. Like, I was not tripping to yell at him, you know, like, his brothers were home, I was trying to use the bathroom, he kept opening the door, like, what did he want me to do? So I was just like not having it. I was calling him every name. I'm like, you're such a bitch, like, I don't want to be with you, let me out. Like, I was so frustrated, you know, when, like, that feeling where somebody's holding you back and you just trying to beat a bitch's ass or something like that. Well, that was me, but like in a different situation, because like I was like stuck. I felt like he was holding me back and I was just trying to run out, I was just trying to get out, and he would not let me. And like hours went by and I was like, I gotta go. I'm like softball practice is over, I gotta go, let me go. And so he finally let me leave. And so I got home, I walked all the way home, and I go to the bathroom and I had legit like a huge bruise right here. Like, it was so big. And thank God that when I came home, nobody was there at the time. So yeah, I tried to cover it up as best as I could, but basically I ended up telling my parents that I got hit with a softball. That was the only thing that I could think of. And yeah, so that was that situation. And finally finally, where I ended off, it's crazy, it's crazy, all the stuff that I had to go through, like, and it was almost every single day. It's so fucking crazy. And like, when he would apologize, he would take me flowers and be the sweetest fucking dude. Fuck that dude. We were in my house, and of course we were watching movies in my living room, and of course, you know, he goes through my phone again, like all the fucking arguments start, and he's like, you know, tripping about some dude on social media. And I'm just like, no, you're overreacting, like, whatever. And so I put my phone to charge on a big speaker that I had down there. I go to sit down and he's like still complaining and still bitching at me. So I decide to stand by the speaker, you know, on my phone while it's charging, because I didn't want to hear what he had to say. And every single time I would sit next to him, he would fucking pinch me. So I was standing by the speaker where I was charging my phone, and he's just like, get off your fucking phone, come sit next to me. And I'm like, no. And he just kept telling me, like, you know, come sit down. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be on my phone, leave me alone, like, I don't want to sit next to you right now, give me a minute. And so whatever, right, he's like chilling there, and then again, come sit down. I'm like, no, I'm not ready. Like, literally, it wasn't even like a lot of time that passed by, literally. So I was still mad, I was still, you know, so I was like, no. And so what he does next is he gets up, he grabs my phone out of my hands, he like snatches it from my hands, and he throws it on the floor. And he was wearing a jacket that I had bought him, and so he takes off his jacket and then he throws it on the floor and starts stepping on it and starts like ripping it and stepping on it. And he's like, this is how the fuck I feel about you, I didn't fucking like this jacket, and just making me feel like shit, right? And so I was like, you know, tearing up because it was just like a lot to take in at that time. And so he looks at me like that in my face, and with his, you know, fist balled up like on his sides, and he's like, go sit down. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go sit down. And he's like, then you're not ready on what's about to happen right now. And with his fist still balled up, and he looks so mad, like he just looked like, you know how I told you guys, like I would look at him, I would see nothing. Like that's literally what he looked like. I would look at him and I saw nothing. Like I saw red in his eyes. And he's like, you're not ready on what's gonna happen to you right now. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? So I kind of pushed him a little bit, and then I ran to my mom's room. And I was there for like a minute. And then I opened the door and I peeked my head out, and he's sitting there on the couch. And I was just like, so he was sitting there on the couch, so I leave the door open so my mom can hear, you know, what's going on. And I was just like, look, you need to get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out of my house. I don't want to be with you. You need to leave. And he was just like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. And I was like, no, you have to fucking leave. I don't want to be with you. You fucking disgust me. You're a piece of shit. Like, I don't want to be with you. And that's it. And I grabbed the jacket and I just, you know, I gave it to him. I was like, here, do whatever the fuck you want with it. I don't fucking want it. You want to throw it out? Go ahead, throw it out. Like, you just need to fucking leave. And so he was not going. He was trying to grab my face, like, oh, I'm sorry, like trying to kiss me and shit. Like, man, that time I was done with it. I was done. I was like, nope, you need to fucking leave. So I was like, whatever, you want to go ahead and sit here, fine, but the minute you leave, you're never coming back. That was my mentality at that point, because he didn't want to leave. Like I said, he would just sit there like a fucking object. Like, you know, nobody would pay attention to him. Nobody would fucking want him there. So yeah, so my mom obviously knew what was going on. But at the time, it was just me and my mom home. So then finally he left, and he would try coming back to try talking to me. He would go pop up, you know, at my school after school, like, and I would be with my friends or whatever, and like I was single as hell. I was like, okay, like, you know, like I would, you know, talk to my guy friends like without, you know, looking over my shoulder, like, oh my god, you know. Like, I was, man, it felt so good. It felt so good. Like a fucking weight was lifted off my shoulders, literally. Like, man. So like he would pop up by my school all the time after school, and then he would try to fight dudes. And like, so that went on for a while, where he would like just show up. Like, I would see him everywhere. He was on some stalker ass shit. Like, it got to the point where like literally I was gonna get a fucking restraining order on his ass, because everywhere that I went, he was there. I would go to the park, he would be there. He would fucking be at the store where I was at. He would fucking be on my block. He would ride around my block, like circle around my block. And I would be like, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, oh, my friend lives on this block. You really think I was born yesterday? Like, stop playing. And he would just do that. I kid you not. He would do that for like a year and a half. He did that for a year and a half or 2 years or something. And like, he wanted me so much, but I did not fucking want him. And like, I guess that would piss him off. Like, he would talk shit about me to his friends, like calling me out my name again, and just like, oh, fuck that hoe, like I don't want her. But yet he's still like trying to talk to me. Like, he made multiple Facebook accounts to try to talk to me. He messaged me from his mom's Facebook. Like, it got so ridiculous. I blocked him completely from my life. I don't want nothing to do with him. Like, he literally scarred me for life. Like there's sometimes when I'm with my boyfriend now, and like I'll flinch, or like, you know, or I don't know, I'll just feel so sad over like stupid ass things, and it's just because all the shit that I dealt with back then kind of like, I kind of got traumatized. So now for any little thing, like, you know, I make a big deal about it, and I feel so bad because, you know, like, I know my boyfriend now, he's not like that. He at all, he's not. Like, he loves me for real. And yeah, it just sucks how like how it traumatized me, you know. And I feel like that's why I wasn't able to talk about it, because I'm still traumatized. And yeah, so that's part 2 of me being in an abusive relationship. I don't think I could think of any more like huge situations that I was in with him that affected me too much. Like, everything that happened obviously affected me in some type of way, but I don't know if there's any like really big things. But yeah, that's everything. So I'm gonna end the video here because I have to go, but stay tuned for next video next week. I'm gonna be changing it up a little bit, you know, like you guys are gonna start seeing like my goofy side, and you know, man, I'm a cool ass person, I'm telling y'all. So just stay tuned because I have a lot in store for you guys. I really do. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for those of you guys that haven't subscribed, which is a lot of you guys, because there's so many people that watch my videos but only like a handful of you guys subscribe. Go do that. It's totally free. It's 100% free to subscribe. Like, the button is like literally down there, so subscribe. And I will be posting all my social media accounts down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.